Fighters have Muay Thai strike styles, and both fighters have high finish rates. The Sim believes the bright lights will be too much for Melissa Croden, but I believe fighting at home will help her get over that hump. My pick is Melissa Croden via TKO.
She's so physical that she's breaking Lisboa. She's making Lisboa fall to the ground and roll no one. That might be it.
I'm concerned picking either side, and I'm not confident Drew Dober can get past the second round. I also don't think this is the only simulation that has picked Kyle Prepolak. That being said, my pick is still Drew Dober via KO. Both fighters are BJJ brown belts, so I expect that aspect of their arsenal to be negated. My pick is Kyle Nelson via split decision.
For your winner by unanimous decision, Kyle the Monster Nelson!
Melissa Croden with the third round TKO. Drew Dober with the third round KO. Kyle Nelson with the decision win. Now the UFC is back in Abu Dhabi for the return of the heavyweight champ Tom Aspinall, who will make his first undisputed title defense against the French phenom Cyril Gane, fresh off a controversial split decision loss to Alexander Volkov. Mackenzie Dern will put all her assets on the line against the number one strawweight contender Virna Jandiroba for the women's strawweight belt in a rematch that is 5 years in the making. Nurmagomedov is coming off his first career loss to take on Mario Bautista, who's on an impressive 8-fight win streak. Jailton Almeida will look to make it 3 in a row and leap the rankings as he faces the number 2 ranked heavyweight Alexander Volkov. Klein takes on Rebecki in a potential fight of the night. Walter Walker gets a new dancing partner as he takes on Scotland's Sutherland. Nathaniel Wood faces Jose Delgado, and Chris Barnett returns to the octagon to face Hamdi Abdelwahab. It's UFC 321, Tom Aspinall versus Cyril Gane on Fight IQ with Vaughn. Kicking off UFC 321 is Jacqueline Amorin versus Mizuki Inoue. Amorin is on a 4-fight win streak, all by finishes, while Inoue has been away from the octagon for 764 days. Amorin opened up as the minus 455 favorite, and she's now the minus 425 favorite with a win probability of 81%. The win probability calculator has Amorin as the favorite at minus 895, with a true win probability of 89.9%. The AI Fight Simulator picks Amorin to win 90% of the time, 75% via submission round 1 due to Inoue's long layoff and possible jet lag in Abu Dhabi. The expected outcome on fight odds is Amorin by submission 44% of the time. Amorin is a second-degree black belt submission specialist who started her BJJ journey when she was 6 years old. 80% of Amorin's win come via submission, and her only loss in the UFC was via decision, her debut fight. Mizuki is a karate black belt, but has been hampered with ACL injuries and has required several surgeries, keeping her out of competition for a significant amount of time. Even if Mizuki had been able to run and train 100% with no setbacks, she's still nowhere near a second-degree BJJ black belt in skills. Mizuki has one submission technique she utilizes, the armbar, and she hasn't submitted anyone since 2016. Amorin is levels above Mizuki in jiu-jitsu, and her zero takedown defense is an invitation to her world, one which Mizuki will accept. Amorin also dominates the fighter metrics. My pick is Jacqueline Amorin via submission. Next up, we have Azat Maksum versus Mitch Raposo. Both fighters are coming off 2 losses, however, Raposo's losses were via split decisions. Maksum opened as the minus 305 favorite, and he is now the minus 425 favorite with a win probability of 81%. The win probability calculator has Maksum as a favorite at minus 247 with a true win probability of 71.2%. The AI Fight Simulator picks Maksum to win 90% of the time, 50% via decision round 1 due to Raposo's possible jet lag and the fight start time in Abu Dhabi. The simulator believes that Raposo's wrestling strength is negated by Maksum's 85% takedown defense forcing a striking battle. And Maksum throws more volume and has a 6-inch reach advantage. The expected outcome on fight odds is Maksum by decision 50% of the time. Both fighters have dismal strike and takedown accuracy, so this fight has real potential to be one of those sloppy fights where nobody really lands anything and no one will be proud to say that they watched this fight. Raposo has a slight advantage in the fighter metrics overall, but his low strike output would be the nail in his coffin come judges' decision, and that's because we're in Abu Dhabi. But Maksum is the more experienced fighter, and he has fought the better caliber fighters, so my pick is Azat Maksum via decision. Next up, we have Hamdi Abdelwahab versus Chris Barnett. Abdelwahab is coming off a loss to Muhammad Usman, and he looked absolutely horrible in that fight. Barnett wasn't doing himself any favors his last time out against Kennedy and Nzechukwu, losing via first-round TKO. Abdelwahab opened as the -360 favorite, and he's now the -410 favorite with a win probability of 80.4%. The win probability calculator has Abdelwahab as the favorite at -541 with a true win probability of 84.4%. The AI Fight Simulator picks Abdelwahab to win 90% of the time, 60% via KO round 1 due to Barnett's year layoff and terrible chin having been knocked out 4 times. Abdelwahab has options. He could keep it standing or he could take it to the mat. But what he can't do is stand in front of Barnett flat-footed because we all know what Barnett wants to do. Abdelwahab also dominates the fighter metrics except for the reach. Barnett will actually have a 2-inch reach advantage over Abdelwahab. The expected outcome on fight odds is Abdelwahab via TKO 46% of the time. And it's always fun to watch Chris Barnett fight, and when he wins, everybody parties. But he's a short, fat heavyweight who the UFC can't afford to get rid of. Oh wait, where's Martin Boudet? I'm giving Hamdi one more chance to redeem himself, but if he loses to Barnett, the UFC should cut him immediately. My pick is Hamdi Abdelwahab via TKO. Next, we have a potential fight of the night between Jose Delgado and Nathaniel Wood. Delgado is on an impressive 7-fight win streak, while Wood is coming off an impressive win against Francis Morgan Charrier. Delgado opened as the -155 favorite, and he is now the -148 favorite with a win probability of 59.7%. The win probability calculator has Delgado as the favorite at -305 with a true win probability of 75.3%. The AI Fight Simulator picks Wood to win 65% of the time, 45% via decision due to Wood's professional UFC experience and thinking this is just too much too soon for Delgado. And Wood proved this in his last fight against the rising prospect Morgan Charrier, outworking and outlanding Charrier while targeting Charrier's legs to limit his movement. Delgado, on the other hand, only needed 26 seconds to dispose of Haider Amir via a vicious knee. The expected outcome on fight odds is Delgado by TKO 30% of the time, Wood by decision 29% of the time. Delgado will have a 5-inch height advantage and a 4-inch reach advantage over Wood, and Wood will need to contend with Delgado's crazy strike output and aggressive takedown attempts. Wood has a slim advantage over some fighter metrics, but Delgado stands out in strikes landed and takedown average. Wood also has fought the more experienced caliber fighters, and he is the savvy vet inside the octagon. I'm definitely conflicted in picking the winner in this fight, but my gut keeps drawing me to Delgado. So my pick is Jose Delgado via TKO. Next up, we have the heel hook king Walter Walker versus Louis Sutherland. Both fighters' opponents, Muhammad Usman and Justin Tafa, pulled out before the weigh-ins, leaving a frustrated Walter Walker at the weigh-ins. Walker opened as the -310 favorite, and he's now the -395 favorite with a win probability of 79.8%. The win probability calculator has Walker as the favorite at -307 with a true win probability of 75.5%. The AI Fight Simulator picks Walker to win 80% of the time, 45% via submission due to Sutherland's making his UFC debut. Sutherland will also have to deal with a cardio dump as he's going to be in Abu Dhabi for a pay-per-view card on his debut fight. I think this is going to cause him to tire out after the first round, if he even gets out of the first round. The expected outcome on fight odds is Walker by submission 45% of the time. Walker will have a 2.5-inch reach advantage, and Sutherland will need to contend with Walker's non-stop takedown attempts. Sutherland has an advantage over the striking metrics, but Sutherland's stats are not official stats. These are computations that I made watching these fights, so they may be skewed. But my pick is Walter Walker via submission. Next up, we have Louisiana-born Abdul Karim Al-Selwady fighting out of Dallas against Matheus Camilo. Both fighters are in good camps, Fortis MMA and Nova União Extreme Couture for Matheus Camilo, and both fighters are 0-1 in the UFC. Camilo opened up as a -105 favorite, and he's now the -118 favorite with a win probability of 54.1%. The win probability calculator has Camilo as the favorite at -200 with a true win probability of 66.7%. The AI Fight Simulator picks Camilo to win 85% of the time, 40% via submission round 2 due to Al-Selwady's 598-day layoff. Both fighters are BJJ brown belts, and both fighters like to grapple, but both fighters have poor submission rates. Al-Selwady does have a compromised chin, having sustained 4 losses via KO, most recently to Rebecki. The expected outcome on fight odds is Al-Selwady by decision 35% of the time, Camilo by KO 33% of the time. Grappling heavy fighters that fight each other usually tend to neutralize their strengths, turning it into like a kickboxing affair. And either scenario, either a striking or grappling affair, would favor Camilo, in my opinion, as he's the more accurate striker and the more prolific submission hunter. Also, Selwady is going to suffer from a serious cardio issues as well. I think he's going to be tiring mid-second round, allowing for Camilo to go in after the kill. My pick is Matheus Camilo via KO. Next up, we have Ludovic Klein versus Matheus Rebecki. Both fighters are coming off losses and need to get back into the win column. Klein opened as the -135 favorite, and he is now the -142 favorite with a win probability of 54.1%. The win probability calculator has Klein as the favorite at -146 with a true win probability of 59.4%. The AI Fight Simulator picks Rebecki to win 55% of the time, 25% via submission round 3, or 25% via decision due to his relentless wrestling and Klein's susceptibility to get submitted. But the last time anyone choked out Klein was Landwehr back in 2021, round 3. Klein is a nasty striker, and although he did knock out that racist Nazi AJ Cunningham last year with a front kick, a knockout which I can watch on loop 24 hours a day, he's become mostly a point fighter. Rebecki has had a rough 3 fights, losing 2 and winning 1 via split decision, and I just don't know if he'll be able to execute the proper game plan to wear down Klein. The expected outcome on fight odds is Klein by decision 34% of the time. And the more I consider this fight, the more I do lean towards Klein, but then I think about how Gamrot took him down 6 times on 11 attempts for a total control time of 8 minutes and 45 seconds. And this is exactly what Rebecki needs to do. Not engage in a boxing match or a striking war, but to out-grapple and control Klein for 2 or 3 rounds and then just survive. I'm not confident in picking the winner of this fight, and I'm not going to be including them in either of my bets, but my pick is Matheus Rebecki via decision. Next up, we have a certified banger between Ikram Aliskerov and Young Park. By now, the Abu Dhabi crowd is going to start to fill the arena, and they're going to be going wild for Aliskerov, fresh off a win from former UFC fighter Andre Muniz. Park is also coming off an impressive win over Ismail Nurmagomedov, which is why money has sort of been moving his way. Aliskerov opened as the -270 favorite, but is now the -230 favorite with a win probability of 69.7%. The win probability calculator has Aliskerov as the favorite at -151 with a true win probability of 60.2%. The AI Fight Simulator picks Aliskerov to win 85% of the time, 40% via KO round due to Park's travel time, jet lag, and natural fighting time of approximately 2 a.m. in South Korea. It would be an impressive feat if the Iron Turtle could defeat an EV and an OEV back-to-back. Prior to Nardiev, Park had difficulty with Brad Tavares and former UFC fighter Andre Muniz. He was having difficulty with Nardiev until he took over that third round. In fact, Park pretty much lost the first 2 rounds as he was outstruck 71-35. Aliskerov's perfect takedown defense forces this fight on the feet where Park is severely disadvantaged. Aliskerov also has the advantage in the fighter metrics and also has a 3-inch reach advantage. The expected outcome on fight odds is Aliskerov by decision 35% of the time, by KO 32% of the time. My pick is Ikram Aliskerov via TKO. Next up is the featured prelim between Nasrat Haqparast and Quillan Salkilld. Haqparast is on an impressive 5-fight win streak, while Salkilld, making a short notice appearance, is putting his 9-fight win streak on the line. Haqparast opened as the -135 favorite, but that has dwindled to a -112 favorite with a win probability of 52.8%. Salkilld flipped the line briefly and was a -115 favorite for several hours, and I wouldn't be surprised if he flipped that line again. The win probability calculator has Salkilld as the favorite at -144 with a true win probability of 59%. The AI Fight Simulator picks Haqparast to win 85% of the time, 45% via KO round 2, or 40% via decision, due to Salkilld taking the fight on 9 days notice, his travel time, jet lag, and the natural fighting time in Australia. Haqparast is a handful for anyone to handle on a full training camp, let alone on 9 days notice. Haqparast will be the most difficult opponent that Salkilld has ever faced, and he's doing this in enemy territory. Salkild's 9-fight win streak is also a bit padded with wins over fighters like Anshul Jubli and a litany of no-name opponents. Haqparast is coming off a win against Esteban Riboex, Jaron Gordon, Jamie Mularkey, and John McDessie. The expected outcome on fight odds is Haqparast by decision 35% of the time, Salkilld by decision 35% of the time. I think the short notice nature of this fight, coupled with the long travel and jet lag, is just going to be too much of an impact on Salkilld against a veteran like Haqparast. My pick is Nasrat Haqparast via decision. Opening up the main card is Azamat Murzakanov versus Alexander Rakic. Murzakanov is coming off a first-round KO of Brenson Ribeiro, and he is undefeated, while Rakic is on a 365-day layoff and on a 3-fight losing streak. Murzakanov opened as a -115 favorite, and he is now the -112 favorite with a win probability of 52.8%. The win probability calculator has Murzakanov as a larger favorite at -244 with a true win probability of 70.1%. The AI Fight Simulator picks Murzakanov to win 55% of the time, 35% via KO round 2, or 40% via decision due to Rakic's long layoff. Rakic will have a huge 6-inch reach advantage, and he will need every inch of it to get through Murzakanov's effective strike defense at 61%. Neither fighter is really going to be looking to take this fight to the mat. I mean, Murzakanov only has 2 takedowns in the UFC, although I wouldn't be surprised to see Rakic trying to attempt to change things up with takedowns. This is a must-win fight for Rakic, and unfortunately he has to fight someone who's 15-0. The expected outcome on fight odds is Murzakanov by TKO 37% of the time, Rakic by decision 30% of the time. A lot of respect has been put on a fighter who's on a 3-fight losing streak against an undefeated fighter. Until proven otherwise, I'm sticking with the undefeated fighter. My pick is Azamat Murzakanov via TKO. Next up is a fun fight with title implications between Jailton Almeida and the number 2 ranked Alexander Volkov. Jailton Almeida is on a 2-fight win streak after getting KO'd via hammer fists by Curtis Blades, a fight that seriously dropped Almeida's stock. Volkov is coming off a split decision loss to Gane in a fight that even Gane thought Volkov won. Almeida opened up as the -148 favorite, and he's now the -198 favorite with a win probability of 66.4%. The win probability calculator has Almeida as a big favorite at -358 with a true win probability of 78.2%. The AI Fight Simulator picks Volkov to win 70% of the time, 40% via KO round 3, or 30% via decision due to travel time, fight time, and jet lag for Almeida, compromising his cardio. Volkov does have a good 72% takedown defense rate, which gives me flashbacks to the Blade's hammer fist raining down on Almeida's heads while he did absolutely nothing to defend him. But Almeida has come back with first round submission wins over Alexander Romanov and Sergey Spivak, so that may have been an aberration. Volkov is starting to get up there in age at 36, and wins are getting harder to come by. Almeida has an advantage in the fighter metrics, but the standout statistic is his 0.89 significant strikes absorbed per minute. This indicates he's controlled almost every round of every fight he's fought. With the 6.58 takedown average per fight, Volkov is definitely going to end up on the mat. The expected outcome on fight odds is Almeida by submission 43% of the time. Expecting the older Volkov to perform like the younger version of Volkov is a lot to ask. Almeida is not much younger, but in the fight game, there's an exponential difference between 2 years in your mid-30s. My pick is Yailton Almeida via submission. The good times roll on with Umar Nurmagomedov versus Mario Bautista. Nurmagomedov is coming off a loss to the champ Merab Dvalishvili, while Bautista is on a dominant 8-fight win streak. Nurmagomedov opened as the -455 favorite, and he's now the biggest favorite on the card at -625 with a win probability of 86.2%. The win probability calculator has Nurmagomedov as the favorite at -207 with a true win probability of 67.4%. The AI Fight Simulator picks Nurmagomedov to win 90% of the time, 60% via decision due to Bautista's travel time, jet lag, and as well as just being a stylistic disadvantage for Bautista. Nurmagomedov is one that's used to dictating the pace of the fight, having never suffered a takedown in the UFC, but he had a rude awakening when he fought Merab, who managed to take him down 7 times. Bautista has been proving the odds makers wrong time after time, having been plus money against Patchy Mix and Ricky Simone. The last time Bautista was this big of an underdog was against Corey Sandhagen, a fight Bautista lost via armbar round 1. While you can't count out Bautista, especially when he's on an 8-fight win streak, I think Umar's out for blood to avenge his first loss ever. I expect a masterclass performance from Nurmagomedov in front of the Abu Dhabi crowd to remind everyone that he should be the #1 title contender and the next one to fight Dvalishvili for the belt. The expected outcome on fight odds is Nurmagomedov by decision 64% of the time. My pick is Umar Nurmagomedov via decision. Next up is the co-main event between Mackenzie Dern and Virna Jandiroba for the women's strawweight belt. Dern is coming off a 3-round submission win over Amanda Ribas, while Jandiroba has strung together a 5-fight win streak. Dern opened up as the -118 favorite and is now a -155 favorite with a win probability of 60.8%. The win probability calculator has Jandiroba as the favorite at -270 with a true win probability of 73%. The AI Fight Simulator picks Jandiroba to win 65% of the time, 45% via decision due to having to fight from her back and needing to seek a submission win. This is a rematch where Dern beat Jandiroba via decision in a fight where Jandiroba was clearly hesitant to grapple with Dern. It was one of 3 of Jandiroba's losses in the UFC, the other 2 being to Carla Esparza and Amanda Ribas. But Dern didn't have a great run after beating Jandiroba, losing 4 of the next 9 fights. And Mackenzie Dern is a lot like Kevin Holland. You just don't know which version is going to show up on any given night. Dern seems to be distracted with the glams of life, whereas everyone knows that there's never going to be a problem for Jandiroba being distracted as such. I expect Jandiroba to lean more on her wrestling and grappling this time and not do stupid shit like pulling Gilly. The expected outcome on fight odds is Dern by submission 27% of the time, by decision 26%, and Jandiroba by decision 26% of the time. Another very close fight. Jandiroba does dominate the fighter metrics. My pick is going to be Virna Jandiroba via decision. And last but not least is the main event between Tom Aspinall and Cyril Gane for the heavyweight belt. Aspinall would be undefeated in the UFC had he not tweaked his knee against Curtis Blades, and Gane is coming off a controversial split decision win over Alexander Volkov. See, even me, I can't get the fact that he won that fight. Aspinall opened as the minus 298 favorite, and he's now minus 355 favorite with a win probability of 78%. The win probability calculator has Aspinall as the favorite at minus 349 with a true win probability of 77.7%. The AI Fight Simulator picks Aspinall to win 80% of the time, 35% via submission due just to the mismatch in the grappling department. And stylistically, this is a horrible matchup for Gane, who was taken down at will by Nasruddin Imamov during their training sessions. Gane is a great athlete. He's a decent kickboxer, but he's slow, he's stiff, and he's very hittable and easily submittable for Aspinall. UFC fans have been itching to see Aspinall back inside the octagon, this time as the undisputed champion. And the sad reality is that the heavyweight division is in tatters, with fighters like Tai Tuivasa still ranked in the number 10, still ranked as number 10, even though he's lost 5 consecutive fights. The heavyweight division needs new life, and there are some prospects on the horizon, but it looks like this is going to be an opportunity for another dominant champion to rise from the John Jones ashes. Aspinall dominates almost all the fighter metrics, and the expected outcome on fight odds is Aspinall by TKO 47% of the time, by submission 33% of the time. Aspinall definitely has the skills to submit Gane, but Aspinall's preferred method of victory is the beautiful ground and pound. So my pick is Tom Aspinall via TKO. Thank you for viewing. Hit that like and subscribe button. Good luck this week. We out.